Alright, Ellie, what are you doing this time? Oh, it's Poop Farty Guns. So, I'm gonna have to try to get through this without laughing my ass off the entire time. I covered Poop Farty Guns, this mod, probably, I don't know, almost a year ago now, something like that. Really? She's gonna start as soon as I start the fucking video. Know that, bro. Okay? Know that. Big chaos in this house. Anyway, so I covered this mod about a year ago now, I think. I remember having a blast with it, a real gas, if you will. And the mod developer, Gassy, had mentioned that it was a good video, but there was a lot of things I had missed. There was a lot more to the mod than I had really talked about. So I've been meaning to come back to this and just do more of a deep dive and try to get even more into it than I did before. And still, I mean, I've spent several hours with it at this point, and I keep finding new things with this frickin' mod. It's like, every single time I turn around, there's like this new weapon that's like, oh crap, I didn't even know this weapon existed, or oh, I didn't know that this power-up was a thing, or, you know, oh, this enemy does this. It's mind-blowing how much crap is in this mod. No pun intended. So strap in, give yourself a change of underwear, and put on a gas mask, because we're about to get poopy. For this playthrough, I played a little bit of Hell Cartel 2, just so I could kind of play with some of the Doom 2 monsters and stuff like that. And then I also just played Doom 1 for a lot of it, because I was just kind of in the mood to go back and play the classic, you know? So the main question on your mind is probably going to be, what is Poop Farty Guns? Well, it is... It is a total conversion mod that has all kinds of sound bites and memes and stuff inserted into it, and all kinds of weapons, monster behaviors, extra monsters. I mean, you name it. This mod does a little bit of everything. It even has a progression system, like with things that you can buy from a store. And when you kill monsters, you get cash, and you can make those upgrades. There's so much to it, and we're going to try to talk about as much of it as I possibly can, but this won't be like an all-encompassing, you know, cover every single weapon and every single monster, because there's so much to it that honestly I would just say play this mod. I guarantee you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So the biggest thing is all the sounds. All of the different monsters make all kinds of different sounds. They will talk to you, they'll say things to you. Your character, as you're running around, your Doom guy, as you're running around, will make running sounds like the old cartoon, like dig 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 kind of running sounds. The weapons all make farty sounds. You know, it's just everything is constantly making sound and being really noisy and driving you crazy. But insanity, I think, really is the key to this mod. You have to kind of embrace the insanity, embrace the chaos, and understand that while you're playing this mod, you're gonna lose a little bit. You're gonna lose it a little bit, and that's okay, because this mod really shines when it's just, you know, chaos is let loose upon the world. Hell, you know, if you will, has been let loose upon the world, and all the poops and farts and gassiness that comes with it. I will try to find one clip here that pretty much sums up, like, the sounds that you're gonna get from it, and I'll just play it right now. How about that? Now, while the sounds might be a lot of fun, the weapons, I'd have to say, are pretty damn good. A lot of the weapons do make fart sounds, because why the hell wouldn't they? But there's actually a lot of just really fun weapons. There's all kinds of different pistols, shotguns, plasma weapons. I mean, it's all there. Anything that you would want from a good weapons mod, it's all in here. And they're a lot of fun to play around with. And a lot of fun to find all the different quirks. A lot of them have secondary fire modes. You know, you have some weapons that'll like shoot grenades on the secondary and just fire like regular 40 bullets on the main. And there's actually also a lot of different ammo choices. One of my favorites is the good old-fashioned Dragon's Breath, of course. options to dual wield pretty much every single weapon, which we will get into. That actually comes from the upgrade menu. And then there are tons of different grenades that you can get into. I haven't really figured out exactly how those work per se, like especially like being able to switch between the different grenades. There is a key that's bound to the grenade. It's like supposed to pull up a grenade weapon wheel, but I couldn't really get that to work in my playthrough. I was also playing on Doom 1, so that might have something to do with it. There's actually just kind of like a main grenade. It's just like, you know, the ball with the fuse on top that's great to yeet at the enemies. One is also an Ender Eye. You can actually throw it in a direction and it'll teleport you there. It's pretty sweet. And the health pickups are absolutely insane. There's, of course, the regular health pickups that you see in Doom, and then there's things like a chicken covered in mayonnaise, or like a can of beans or something like that, that the Doom guy will eat and burp and make all kinds of disgusting noises. And the power-ups in this are insane. There's, of course, the regular, like, invincibility power-ups. There's the Berserk power-up. There's one that turns you into a frickin' monkey and you just run around punching shit. It gives you a bunch of health. Nice. The only things you have to be careful of is those blue power-ups. They don't give you health anymore. I think that they actually take health away, and they can eventually just kill you like that, which I'm not really crazy about. I've actually used the resurrect command several times because of like accidentally picking up one too many blue things, and it tells you my remaining kidney exploded and I died. Fuck that. It's bullshit, I say. Bullshit. But as I mentioned, all of that food that you're picking up, it is filling up your health, but it's also filling up a gas meter. And over time, that gas meter will continually get higher and higher and higher, which is one of the main elements of this game that we have to talk about, which is, of course, a keybind that you have to make sure that you bound, and it's the fart button. Every once in a while, in order to, you know, clear your body of the gas that's filling it up and inflating you to dangerous levels, you know, you'll have to hit this button occasionally and clear it all out by farting. And in some cases, it's borderline shitting your pants. But, you know, especially if it gets really high, it basically goes from 1% to 100%. And I think if you leave it at 100% for too long, you actually die. Either that or it just goes off on its own. Like, I'm not sure. I can't remember. But you have to make sure that you use this fart button, and sometimes it can be an advantage to you. If you run into a room with a ton of enemies, just fart and run away. If they follow you out of the room and walk through the fart gas, it'll actually do damage to them. Now, on the other hand, if you're in a situation where you kind of back yourself into a corner and you're farting, the fart gas will hurt you as well. You have to keep that in mind. So make sure that you can, like, get the hell out of the area that you're in, leaving the trail of toxic fumes behind you, and just stay the hell away from it, because it will literally kill you. Another cool thing that you can do is you can actually, as you're picking up cash from the various enemies that you're killing, you can bribe them to fight for you. Now, I found you have to get really, really close to them for this to actually work. But once it does, then they will fight for you. Now, I found I liked using the cash for the power-ups instead of doing the bribing, so I probably only did it like maybe once or twice through the whole playthrough. Now to get into the enemies. So the enemies all make different kinds of sounds now, like I mentioned. Like, they'll talk to you, they'll make various farting sounds. Actually, the Pinky is quite dangerous now, and they have this ability that once you start firing at them and their health kind of gets low, they will jump at you from across the room, explode in your fucking face, and potentially kill you if your health is low enough. Oh, that's so I hate that they can do that. But every single enemy has new types of things that they do, and there's actually new enemies as well. There's one particular one that, you know, I curse his name. Curse his name. The asshole on the fucking scooter. But there's also revenants that'll shoot, like, you know, a projectile that throws beer cans off of it or whatever the hell it's. I mean, it's absolutely insane, some of the crap that is in this mod. The enemies are actually a lot of fun. They tend to be pretty beefy though, so you have to make sure that over time you're regularly going into the upgrade menu and like upgrading your weapons and upgrading like the various power-ups and stuff like that to make sure that you're progressing throughout, because as the enemies get harder, your weapons, you know, initially don't deal a ton of damage to them. So you definitely want to make sure you're regularly doing those upgrades, because the enemies are beefy and they deal a ton of damage to you, especially at higher difficulties. But in general, I'd have to say that the weapons and the enemies are fairly well balanced as long as you are using the progression system that I mentioned, which we should probably finally get to. The upgrade menu with the jaunty little tune that plays. I love it. So how does the upgrade menu work? Well, it does a lot of things, and I'll try to talk about as much of it as I possibly can. I honestly didn't even get into everything that it could possibly do. However, what it will do is there are certain like DLC upgrades, and those will actually give you things like being able to dual wield. There's one that actually gives you more bowel control, which I think just means like your fart meter doesn't fill up as quickly. And I would definitely go in and take a look at all the different DLC ones, because there's a lot of really great stuff in there that will kind of, some of it's just kind of for the hell of it, and then other things are truly like to progress, like as you're going through harder levels and fighting harder monsters. You can also make upgrades to your weapons. Like I said, you can upgrade like things like weapon spread, ammo capacity, all this different kind of stuff. And then you can also just buy weapons. You can buy new weapons. Like if you find that you don't have like a ton of shotguns or something like that, just go in and buy a shotgun. Try it out. You can also buy ammunition. You can buy health. You can buy power-ups. There's all kinds of crap that you can buy in this frickin' menu. So definitely go in, check out all of it, because there's a lot in there that, like I said, I could do a really long video on just the frickin' poop farty guns upgrade menu. It's pretty good. It's really like well thought out, I'd have to say. So all in all, when I think about the things I like the most about this mod, it's like those individual like small nuances. Some of the things, like there's a weapon that plays dubstep when you fucking fire it. I think it's like a BFG or something. Some of the sounds, some of the things that the monsters say, your picture is that fucking meme of the guy who's kind of, I don't know. But in the way that his face changes over the course of time, gets all cartoony the more damage that he takes. It's just all those little things and just the sounds, man. Like, I could geek out for hours playing just listening to the various sounds. But I can honestly say, I really had a blast playing this mod. So there was only a couple like minor things here and there that I noticed. There are some weapons that are a tiny bit bugged. In fact, that dubstep weapon that I mentioned actually did crash the game once. One of the rocket launchers, I'm not sure if it was just during the boss fight, but when I was fighting the Cyber Demon, it actually did crash the game as well. There was a couple game crashes, and I really just think it's from some of the weapons, some of the things going on with those weapons, and it could be sound related. I'm honestly not sure what caused the crash, but there were some minor crashes here and there, which probably could just be patched out. I'd also have to say that the enemies do at times seem really beefy. Like, I can sit there with a shotgun, fire several shells into a frickin' imp, and it's like, what? Why is he taking so much damage? Like, it just seems odd to me sometimes. But once again, as long as you're going into that upgrade menu and spending your hard-earned cash from killing Hell's minions, then you should be able to upgrade some of your weapons and kind of pick some favorites and mainly like focus on those weapons that you've upgraded and use them as time goes on. One thing I will mention about dual wielding is if you get that from the upgrade menu, you're going to need to bind a key. I think I bound it to N or something like that to allow you to use the dual wield. And just when you have a weapon selected where you have two of them, just hit that button and it'll switch to dual wielding instead of the single wield, that kind of thing. Another thing this mod has is some different game modes. There's one called the Immortal Conflict that is kind of like a waves survival type thing. You'll just have to deal with like waves of enemies and just fight them off. The one issue that I kind of ran into with that is you pretty much just get like a shotgun and you're trying to fight everything with shotguns. And I don't know, it was a little bit weird. I was trying to like get to the point where I could make an upgrade and get a new weapon, but I wasn't getting like enough cash to do that. And that really might be my fault, like the way that I was playing it. I'm sure somebody else might play through it and go like, oh, just do this and you're good to go. Maybe there was a secret I missed or something. I'm not sure. The Impending Nightmare was the other one that I saw. However, I was not able to get into it. It crashed the game every single time I tried, or like it wouldn't let me into it or something like that. So I believe what that is it's supposed to be something where it's kind of like a multiplayer thing where you're playing against bots. I just remember that from the last video. That's probably what it is. And of course, the last thing I'll mention about this is a Xandronum mod, and there are multiplayer servers. In fact, Recurrency had mentioned it's a lot of fun to play in multiplayer. So like if you have a group of friends, you know, fart on each other and just have a blast. I would definitely advise checking out some of those multiplayer servers. I didn't do that for the purposes of this video. However, from what I've gathered, that's actually a really fun way to play this mod. So how do I wrap up this video talking about this mod? Like I said, it's hard to really cover everything that a mod like this does. There's so much to it. The best thing I can say is it's in the description. Download it, try it out for yourself. It's good times. Just make sure that you have Xandronum because that's what it runs on. Yeah. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like. And if you enjoy this kind of content, then absolutely explode that subscribe button. I appreciate it. I can't talk anymore. And I hope to see you on the next episode. Please check out all the socials in the description, Discord, Twitch, all that stuff. Like I said, I will see you on the next episode. I don't know if I said that already. I don't give a shit. In the meantime, if you find yourself in a situation where you are just filled to the brim with gas, then head on into hell and just fart away, because apparently hell's minions don't like the smell of gas, even though they probably live in sulfur. I don't know, man. Seems a bit weird to me. Whatever. This mod is freaking crazy. I'm only gonna say it one more time. Fucking try it out. Try this mod. It's good stuff. Oh. Oh, God. See you on the next episode. Peace. Oh, God.